Namaste. This is the fourth module on Gita Intelligence, and we are going to today talk about supreme motivations. So far, we have been looking at some abstract concepts of real, the unreal, and the self. But now we are going to directly leap into some practical aspects. Gita Intelligence is not looking at the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita in a spiritual sense, but more on a practical day-to-day world application. So our intention is not to look at Atma Sakshatkar, but rather at Atma Tripti, the joys of the self. And this is exactly what we are going to look at today under the title Supreme Motivations. We looked at the infinite, how the universe evolved from the infinite, and life on earth emerged. And within this life, we, each of us, exist in this within this framework or web of life. Selfishness results from being purely driven by the satisfaction of intellectual and emotional ideas and feelings, as well as the pleasures of the senses. These motivations are not only selfish, but they are also inferior. But why are they inferior? They make you forget the self, the life within, the life principle within. We need to look at those motivations that are geared towards satisfying this principle of life or the self. It is this self-satisfaction that can bring in lasting sense of joy and fulfillment. We have seen that the true nature of self is existence, knowledge, and bliss. Hence, the motivation for satisfying the needs of existence, the quest for knowledge, and longing for sustainable happiness can be termed supreme motivation. Our very existence, we'll look at the existence aspects initially. Our very existence is threatened if we are lazy, inexorably choosy, and or negligent. Hence, practical examples of motivation for the needs of existence are: 1. Joy of the sense of duty. The happiness we derive out of doing our duties, irrespective of whether we like it or not. This is how one becomes valuable and indispensable in any undertaking. The second is the joy derived from loving the work that all of us must do. The sense of satisfaction in starting to love the work that must be done as part of our duties. This is how one enhances in reliability and dependability. The joy of taking up and completing priority work is the third aspect. Happiness of carrying out priority work without procrastinating is what is intended. The capacity for planning and prioritization helps one rise up the ladder of leadership. And the next is the joy of doing a job very well and meticulously. Here, we're talking about the sense of satisfaction in carrying out our work meticulously without adopting any half measures. This attitude of exactness makes us capable of leveraging on the expertise quotient in leadership. The aspect of knowledge shows through each of us as the quest for perfection, beauty, utility, completion, and control. Practical examples of motivations for attaining these joys can be listed out as: 1. The joy of finishing a job very well, taking it to its logical conclusion. The happiness of concluding and closing an action by understanding what the needs and requirements are and meeting it to the hilt. Connecting with knowledge is understanding. The joy of creating a piece of exquisite artwork. The thrill derived out of perfecting a skill in creating a piece of art and coming up with a masterpiece is what is indicated here. Perfection lies in applying the knowledge. The joy of discovering something creative and innovative of utility. The excitement of having hit upon a very creative and novel idea and its practical implementation through creative dissonance. Creative dissonance is the ability to connect apparently disparate pieces of knowledge to produce a new idea or concept. The next is the joy of understanding a subtle subject in all its nuances. The sense of achievement and happiness that we derive out of working through a very subtle subject and clearly understanding and connecting with it is what is meant by this joy. The next is joy of mastering a skill and employing it dexterously. In anticipation of the thrill of producing a masterpiece, the happiness in getting engaged in hard work and relentless practice to connect with the nuances of the skill in question is what is meant by this. The nature of bliss is the third one. The nature of bliss shows through as a quest for sustainable happiness through self-effort, compassion, empathy, and self-actualization. Practical reflections of these motivations are: 1. The joy of achieving through taking full ownership, the sense of identification with work, and the consequent sense of responsibility and identity that we achieve with it gives rise to happiness and fulfillment. The joy of being service to others, especially the underprivileged, the satisfaction and happiness that we derive out of helping the lesser privileged voluntarily and out of a genuine concern. The joy of enhancing skills, capabilities, and knowledge. The sense of accomplishment and the consequent joy that we experience by the process of incrementally enhancing our existing capabilities or adding new strengths. The power of needs, desires, and wants or drives that are purely propelled by the sense of duty, love, priority, clarity, follow through, expertise, creativity, assimilation, application, ownership, service, and self-development is called supreme motivation. Therefore, to summarize the practical aspects of supreme motivation, here are the practical takeaways. Duty. Cultivate a sense of duty. Duties come unasked. Love. Start loving what you must do, not just what you like. Priority. Be able to prioritize and take pleasure meeting the priorities. Clarity. Develop clear thinking and precision in doing whatever you are doing. Follow through. Follow up on duties. Do not leave them half done. Expertise. Develop expertise in niche areas of skill sets. Creativity. Be creative. Find novel ways of optimizing your work. Assimilation. Understand, reflect, and identify with knowledge and skills. Application. Impart or apply knowledge for the welfare of others selflessly. Ownership. Take ownership of your destiny. Show self-leadership. Service. Help as many others as possible. The more the others, the better. Self-development. Incrementally keep improving your knowledge and skills. Uddaret Atman Atmanam. Since all these senses are close to the quest for existence, knowledge, and sustained happiness, supreme motivation is the power of the desire for the joys of the self. Thank you, and I hope you have understood what the joy of the self means and what these supreme motivations are.